People are saying this year's Premier League is the most difficult it's been to predict in absolutely ages, and I somewhat agree. However, I still think that what I'm putting here, these aren't predictions, these are facts. This is exactly how the Premier League is about to turn out next season. I can promise you that. A lot of people are saying the same sort of thing. They're saying, oh, Fulham are going to go down, unproven manager, Cover going down, not made enough signings. I'm here to put it right and tell you exactly who's finishing where. And kicking off immediately with the bottom three, I'm going a little bit rogue. I'm saying Hull are finishing bottom. That's not rogue. They've not made enough signings and their team is wank anyway. And the signings that they are making aren't that inspiring. They're going to be absolutely battered week in, week out, which is a shame. But I've got Hull there. Next up, for similar reasons, is Ipswich. They've made some good signings, but I personally don't really rate Gary O'Neill that much. I think if they stayed with McKenna, not that it was really up to them, I think McKenna would have kept them 18th, 17th, tried to push and stay up, but I think they've downgraded their manager, personally speaking. The signings they've made, they've brought in Emerson, improvement in the Premier. He's only played like 2 professional seasons or something, the one from Toulouse. Philogene might be going, who I'd probably argue is one of, if not their best player. I don't know. However, they are linked with Ezekiel Palacios, and if they sign him from Leverkusen, I think more likely that they are going to stay up. And then is where it got controversial in 18th. I have got the Bazzy Bees, Brentford. I think their time's up. I think fair enough, they had a decent season last year. Keith Andrews, yeah, he did well, but underlying, Igor Thiago, we'll get the elephant out of the room because he is an elephant and he is currently in the room. He's absolutely shit. He made Unkwatch every single week. All that needs to happen for Brentford to go down is them to have more televised matches. If they televised every game, Igor Thiago's never bagging and they're doing absolutely nothing. I think it's a bit of a controversial one, a bit of a hot take. Whether it's going to happen, I don't know, but I'm firm in it. I'm putting them in there. 18th place, the Buzzy Bees. It's their time to go. Into 17th is a team, again, that had a great season last year. It's Sunderland. I think with European football and the squad depth that they've got, it's not really going to align very well. They've made one signing, I think, so far, Thomas Meunier. Is that the depth that you need? Might be a decent head in the dressing room, but come on. I think they're going to struggle with the amount of games that they've got. Yeah, I think they're going to be found out a little bit. I don't think they'll go down, but they will be in that 14th to 17th. I'm putting them 17th. And then into 16th, I've got Crystal Palace. New manager, he did really well last season with Lens. Got them into a title race, but that's mainly due to the fact that PSG were playing their B team every week. But they've got Strand Larsen. Whoa. Strand Larsen. Whoa. They're just a bit naff, aren't they? I think Glasner's that good a manager. He's had them overperforming for a while. It is a good squad, but they're being picked apart a little bit. Not great. 16th. Don't think it's that much of a hot take. 15th, I've got Leeds. Leeds are cutting people apart a little bit. People are saying that they're either going to do really well, great signings, Trafford, Harry Wilson, but then it's not an incredible team. Calvert-Lewin, their only striker, yeah, he had a good year last season, but like behind him, you've got Piruin and Metcher. Harry Wilson, yeah, great signing, fair enough. James Trafford, club record signing. This is one that's weird for me because James Trafford is a really good goalkeeper, but I've never watched him and gone, oh, he's just a joke, isn't he? Like, he's not like ridiculous, is he? If we're being serious. He's a great goalkeeper. Is he worth spending that much money on? I'd argue probably not. Great resale value, though, if he does do well. But, yeah, I don't think they've spent in the right areas. I think they'll do fine. But I still don't rate Daniel Farke as much as everyone's saying, like, oh, yeah, actually, he's got a good manager. Still don't rate Daniel Farke. Still a shit manager. And in 14th, I've got the boys, Coventry, who so many people are saying they're going to go down. Before the window started, people were saying, oh, they might stay up, they'll spend big. They're not going to spend big. They might make a few more signings. They've bought in Amenda, from Frankfurt, who's pretty good. Seems pretty good anyway, a bit of a wonder kid. Who else have they bought in? They've made Rushworth permanent. They've bought in Chuana from Burnley. But, like, I don't think people are realising how great their team is already. They've already got such a good team. They don't need to spend the money that Ipswich and Hull have got to do. They've got such a good team, and I don't think Prem fans realise. Like, even someone like Matt Grimes, now he's been promoted. Is he 30, 31? He's not going to be out of the Prem now for 3 years. If they are to go down, he'll get a Prem move. He's phenomenal. They've got so many good players. I really quite like Haji Wright as well, who a couple of years ago I was like, no, this guy's cheeks. Why is he still being employed by a decent club? But I think they've got a great manager in Lampard, who again disrespected, went back and built himself back up from Cov, took him from the fucking foot of the Championship to now the Premier League, and I think their squad's so good. For not it's not like it's an insane Prem squad, but they're keeping like the core together. Van Ewijk is unbelievable, Radoni's unbelievable, Epron Mason Clark, keep an eye on him because he's phenomenal. They brought in Lou Yarenki as well from Nordisland, who's meant to be phenomenal. I've not really watched him. I'm saying phenomenal more than Michael Van Gogh. No, he's absolutely phenomenal. He's meant to be good, is what I'm saying. I think they've got a good squad. 14th. Now into mid-table. 9th to 13th. 13th place is where I have got Fulham. I think so many people are saying, it's their year, they're going down. They've got an unproven manager, Arbeloa. They've bought in these Real Madrid boys. They've still got a really good team. Marco Silva, he's a good manager, but he's not an obscenely good manager. It's not like they've lost Iraola like Bournemouth have. They've lost Marco Silva, which is like good but replaceable. Arbeloa did with Real Madrid, but he obviously did something right to get that job. I know he was at the B team, but still. Gonzalo Garcia, he looks to be a decent little striker that they've brought in. They've got a good squad. I think they'll be fine. I don't think there's any relegation worry for them. And then just above them, in 12th place, I've got Forest. I think Glasner, fantastic. I think they'll start off quite well. And then as they get deeper into the cup competitions, because I think they will, they've got Glasner at the wheels, what's going to happen? They might tail off a bit near the end of the season, but they've got a really good team already. They've got all the Anderson money to spend, whether they bring anyone else in. I think they're looking at Reinders, but it looks like he's going to Saudi. Who else have they bought in? I can't think who Forest have bought in, but they're just going to be fine. They got Glasner. He's such a good coach. I don't know how they managed to get him, but they'll be absolutely fine. And Marinakis is going to sue whoever disagrees anyway. So I promise, Mr. Marinakis, this is a sincere prediction. I actually think you'll win the league. Thank you, Mr. Marinakis. Moving swiftly on from the Marinakis boys. Into 11th place, I've got Everton. Again, just a solid squad. Have they signed a right back yet? I don't think they have signed a right back yet, but I will say in the clips that I've been seeing in pre-season of Tariq George, he's the one to keep an eye on. He's been mental, allegedly. He looked all right last season. He didn't look great at Chelsea. He looked a little bit better at Everton. Made it permanent for, I think it's 20 mil, something around that. Great player. By the looks of things, they could be making a little pretty penny on him. It's the striker problem, though, that's just... Beto and Barry as your two strikers. I think Barry could come good, but Beto, no, he's so bad. Barry's only like, 23? He's clearly got something in him. He did it at Villarreal, but then again, so did Nicholas Jackson. Who, again, I actually love Nicholas Jackson. I'm sick of everyone saying, he's crap. Nicholas Jackson is scoring double figures in the Premier League this season. Think. Is he even still at Chelsea? I don't even know what they do. They've just got that many incomings and outgoings. He might have been gone. But anyway, moving on to 10th. Is that 10th? 12th, 11th. 10th place, yes. Bournemouth. I think they're going to drop off a little bit. But they've got Marco Rose in to replace Iraola. What, according to Football Manager, is an unbelievable replacement. That 4-2-2 that he rocks in FM24. It's dangerous. But such a good team. Krupi's out for another 2 months, I think. Did he get an ankle injury in pre-season? It might be reoccurring, actually. I feel like I saw something that he's had quite a few ankle injuries, but I think it could be a blessing in disguise, because whether Spurs or PSG, Arsenal, whether someone went in for him, when he was fully fit, they might have had to start the season with Alvaro Rodriguez up top, which, again, he's meant to be good as well from Elche. They've brought in and Silva, the centre-back from Benfica, meant to be good again. A lot of these players that people are bringing in, I've not watched. I've not watched Antonio Silva. I'm not going to pretend to be like, he's such a good player. But he's really highly rated, and Bournemouth have signed him, so odds are he's going to be good. And they brought in that right back as well, the Spanish right back. Can't get his name into my head. No, it's not coming to me. They've got a Spanish right back to replace the controversial Alex Jimenez. But yeah, decent little team. I think they'll be absolutely fine. But the Europe games, again, they're not going to be able to cope with all that. Into 9th place. No, you know what? It was between 8th and 9th. I'll put Newcastle in 8th because it was 8th and 9th, a toss-up between Brighton and Newcastle. And I think Newcastle are going to do fine. A lot of people, again, writing them off, being like, lost Eddie Howe, lost all Bruno, lost Tonali. They've made some decent signings. That's Sean Steyer, looks really good. Whatever his name is. Bazamana Traore. I actually have watched him. He's unreal. He's absolutely rapid. He'll be really good in the Prem. The Ivorian winger from Hoffenheim. Spent quite a bit of money on him, but it's probably going to be worth it. Pre-season, they're playing some interesting stuff. They've got Voltemada playing in the 10. Biggest 10 of all time. No, I think they'll be fine. And then in 9th is Brighton. Again, I've seen that they're after Liam Delap. Don't know if they still are. I think that'd be a great sign. And that's the one position that worries me for them, because they've got Kostoulas, Ferguson, and is Simas still there? The other Greek striker, whether he's gone out on loan, I'm not sure. But Ferguson, he's awful. He's really, really bad. It's a far cry from how he started off his career, but no, I really don't rate Evan Ferguson that highly. Kostoulas, great ceiling. Whether he's ready to be replaced Welbeck immediately, I don't know. So if they get Liam Delap in, I think you could probably swap him with Newcastle, because I think he'd be a really good signing for them. Again, solid team. They'll be fine. Going to the top 7, as you can see down the bottom, we've got the top 6 and Aston Villa left. And I think Aston Villa are going to be the team finishing in 7th. I think losing Rodgers, unlucky. But I will say, is Brian Maggio. Oh my God. He is a blur. As much as I dislike Aston Villa Football Club as an establishment, this Brian Maggio guy, I'm really rooting for him. George Hemmings as well, he looks really good, and he's probably going to be integrated into the first team this season. They've got so much young talent in that club. They've got Bradley Burrows, George Hemmings, Maggio. There's plenty more. Alisson, that Brazilian winger. They're going to be falling off a little bit from last season, I think, just because of how much the teams below them have strengthened, like Chelsea and Tottenham and United. But put Villa in 6th, they'll be all right. Sorry, 7th. Villa in 7th, they'll be fine. I think they'll go far in the Champions League. There's a little hot take. Is it a hot take? No. Quarterfinals, Villa in the Champions League. And into the top 6, we're going to be starting off the top 6 with Manchester United. Good signings. Again, they've bought in Tielemans, they've bought in Andre Santos. That midfield is solid, really good. One player who I think is getting really overrated is Mainu. He's a bit chunky, not that mobile. Yeah, he's a good player, but the way they bang on about him is like he's the second coming of Paul Scholes. He's not. He's a decent player, but he will probably be playing at Leeds by 29, if we're being honest. Not much to touch on. They've got a good team. Bruno, Cunha, and Bumo. Sesko might have a decent season. You never know. They've got a solid squad now. I think 2 years' time, when they build on what they're currently doing, I think they will be pushing for titles. But put them in 6th just because of the business that the two teams that I'm going to put them above them, Chelsea and Tottenham, as in like overtaking them from last season. The business they have done is that good. I can't really put United above them. But into 5th place is Liverpool. I think they are going to similar. Did they finish 5th last season? I think they finished 5th last season. Iraola, again, great manager, but they've got quite a few injuries to start the season. First season without Salah. I know everyone can say, like, oh, he's not even that good, he just scored and gets assists. He's Mo Salah. He's like one of the best Premier League players of all time. He's very, very difficult to replace. They're brought in that Victor Munoz guy from Osasuna, who's allegedly, I saw a tweet yesterday saying he's going to be trolled as a right back. Very questionable decision, if so, because he looks quite direct. Decent little winger from Spain. Who else have they brought in? They've got Jeremy Jacket, coming in from Rennes. Could be decent, you never know. There's quite a few unknowns. I think it will be a big season for Conor Bradley when he's back fit. Great player. But yeah, nothing special. We'll put them into 5th. Bringing us on to the top 4, where I think Tottenham are going to clutch it. They're going to get into the top 4. The business they have made is unbelievable. Fernandes, massive overpayment. Yeah, fair enough. But he's still really good, like irrespective of the money. They had that much money piled up from the Levy era when he didn't want to spend. They can spend. It's a bit of a risk for that much, but if they can, why not? And it stops United from getting him, so they've beat a rival to a signing. But I do think like Tielemans for 35 mil to United compared to 85 mil for Mateus Fernandes. I'd personally, if I was in both their positions, I'd rather have gone for Tielemans, but each their own. Tonali's an unbelievable signing. Just strengthening everywhere. I think they get a big striker in. They could be getting somewhere. Don't know whether they will though. Still after Gakpo and Savinho. I don't think they're in the race for Leao anymore, but solid nonetheless. And into 3rd. Chelsea, 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 Chelsea. Need to get this ad off the screen because it's fucking me off a little bit. Is there a way of getting it off? Oh, I really don't know, to be honest. However, the business that they have made, Rodgers, unreal. Welbeck and Henderson, Unkwatched prime, absolutely fantastic. Huge fan of that sort of business. Did they bring in LaCroix from Palace? Let me just do a bit of research. I've lost track completely, if I'm being honest, of the players they've brought in, but I'm looking at who's came in now. They've got Emega coming from Strasbourg, who apparently they're looking at selling, but he could be a useful player at least. Marco Palestra, the right back from Atalanta, beast, suits Xabi Alonso's system to a T apparently. Giovanni Quenda, young, rapid, tricky little winger from Sporting, could be good in this system again. Morgan Rogers, I think he'll just explode at Chelsea, playing with Parma, great link up. I think they're going to be really, really good this season. And I think the next couple of seasons they could build on what they're building now. Like, the team will gel better. If they just be a bit sensible and stop spunking loads of money on nothing and then selling it and then bringing in more nothing, be all right. But LaCroix came in, Welbeck's came in, Barco's came in, that little rat. Not a fan of him at all. And then they've got the left wing back, Pep Chavarria from Vallecano. A bit of experience, had a good season last season. They've been ripped apart. Nobel Mendy as well from Vallecano. He went to Hull. Could be a decent signing for next season when Hull go down and someone in the Prem or Palace can get him on a free. Not free, but a cheap deal. But yeah, Chelsea looking really good. And then the top two, most people have got the same top two. I've got City second and I've got Arsenal winning it again. Arsenal were the best team in the league last season and all they have done is strengthen. Like, Bruno G, arguably one of, if not the best midfielder in the Premier League. Not last season, but he is just so good. He's a fantastic player. Him and Royce together is a joke. Dowman could have a breakout season. They've got Solis, who, for the top of my head, is 22 goals, 29 assists last season for Club Brugge. I know it's Club Brugge. Do not care. Doing that in any top league. Oh, it's the Belgian. I'd say Belgian league's probably in the top 7. Great player. Far cry again from what he was like at Norwich a few years ago. And then City in second. People are saying, the transition to Maresca is not that different from Pep. Yes, he might be a little bit, but he's a very, very similar manager to Pep. Will be a bit of a transition. I think there'll be a bigger gap between Arsenal and City this season. But I think they'll be fine. They'll be in the top 2. So there we have my Premier League predictions. Let me know what you think down below. This is the second video on the channel. Do subscribe if you enjoyed this. Anything else you want to see, I'm going to be doing Unkwatch, big long form Unkwatch every Monday, potentially when the season starts across the Europe. There's all sorts going on. There always will be. I'll do Championship reviews, Prem reviews, whatever you want to see. Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, like, all the best.
Well, hey!